Today, we're going to try and untangle the massive, and I mean massive, web of welfare programs in Rajasthan, India. We're going to explore how a government even begins to build a safety net for millions of people, literally, from the ground up.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? How do you design policies that are big enough to develop entire regions, but at the same time focused enough to actually change the life of a single family? That's the puzzle we're looking at today.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the big picture, looking at regional development. Then we're going to zoom in on how local leaders are empowered, how every household gets support, how the economy gets a boost, and finally, we'll look at how the most vulnerable people are protected.
First up, let's talk about the land itself. You see, Rajasthan is an incredibly diverse state. You've got deserts, you've got hills, you've got border regions, each with its own unique challenges. So the very first layer of this safety net has to be about programs that are targeted to specific geographic areas. Now, what's really smart about this is just how specific these programs are. I mean, look at this. You have one plan for the Mewat area, another completely different one for the districts along the international border, then a couple more were added later for the really rugged Chamba ravines and the hilly Magra region. Each one is custom built to handle the unique economic and infrastructure problems of that specific place. It's a clear admission that, a one-size-fits-all approach just isn't going to cut it here.
Okay, so you've got these broad regional plans, but how do you make things, well, more local? You empower the local leaders. You put the money and the decision-making power directly into the hands of the people who know their community's problems best.
And this is done through two main schemes, one for the state-level representatives, the MLAs, and one for the national members of parliament, the MPs. Both of them get a dedicated pot of money just for their local areas. And check this out. The MLA scheme specifically recommends that 20% of the funds go to areas with scheduled caste or scheduled tribe populations. That's a built-in mechanism to make sure resources get to historically marginalized communities.
And the amount of money we're talking about here is pretty significant. Each one of these representatives, state or national, gets 5 crore rupees. That's about 600,000 US dollars every single year to spend on local projects. Now multiply that by all the representatives, and you're talking about a huge investment in super local development, all decided by leaders on the ground. That puts a ton of power and responsibility right in their hands. All right, so we've gone from huge regions down to local communities. Let's zoom in one level deeper, to the core unit of society, the household. This is all about policies that provide the absolute basics, like a solid roof over your head.
This is a perfect example of how these schemes are all woven together. The rural housing scheme isn't just a check in the mail. No, it gives you money for the house, plus separate funds to build a toilet under the Clean India mission, and it even guarantees you 90 days of paid work to actually help build your own home. It's a really holistic way of thinking, right? Tackling housing, sanitation, and jobs all at once. And you can see the funding is a partnership between the central and state governments.
Of course, supporting a household isn't just about the four walls of the house. It's about the environment it's in. Take this scheme, which was launched in 2020 to tackle a massive problem in Rajasthan, falling groundwater levels. And just look at the funding to see what a big deal this is. It's a 50-50 split between the government of India and the World Bank. That tells you this isn't just a local issue. It's a matter of global importance.
Okay, so people have some basic security. What's the next step? Opportunity. This section is all about the programs designed to help people go from relying on a safety net to actually building their own financial independence, mostly through starting businesses.
One of the biggest hurdles for any small business is getting an affordable loan. This scheme tackles that problem head on. And the key idea here is that sometimes the best help isn't a handout, it's a hand up. So instead of just giving grants, the government helps pay the interest on your business loan. If you take out a loan up to 25 lakh rupees, the government covers a whopping 8% of the interest. That makes it so much cheaper to get your dream off the ground.
And here you see that layering idea again, that focus getting sharper and sharper. Building on that previous scheme, this one from 2022 is specifically for entrepreneurs from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities. It gives them even better terms, like a 9% interest subsidy on those loans up to 25 lakhs, to actively encourage economic inclusion and help close some of those historical gaps in who gets to own a business.
And that brings us to the final, most focused layer of this whole safety net. This is where we talk about direct support for people in very specific, very difficult situations. We're talking children without parents, women from low-income families, people with disabilities.
Now this is a really fascinating one because it has two goals. On the surface, it's financial help for the marriage of daughters from poor families. But look at how it's structured. The amount of money you get goes up and up significantly based on how educated the daughter is. So it's not just support. It's a really powerful financial incentive for families to keep their girls in school. It's a clever way to link social aid directly to educational empowerment.
The Palan Har, or caretaker, scheme is just what it sounds like. It's direct, monthly financial support for raising kids who are in tough spots. As you can see, the most support goes to children who are orphaned. But it also provides a really crucial monthly payment for kids whose parents might be in prison or have passed away or have severe disabilities. It's designed to provide a financial cushion for kids in a whole range of really difficult family situations.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, you see it's not just a random list of programs, is it? It's a very deliberate, layered system. It starts wide with the land, then it empowers local leaders, then it secures the home, then it fuels economic ambition, and finally, it provides a compassionate safety net for those who need it most. It's a really comprehensive attempt to support a person through all stages of life.
And that leaves us with one last big question. We've seen the blueprint, we've seen the different layers and the funding. But with so many moving parts, what do you think is the single most important thing that turns this complicated web of schemes into a safety net that actually catches everyone? Is it the money? Is it people knowing the programs exist? Is it how they're delivered? What's the secret ingredient?